Hello, I'm Sonny Clark, and I am a person.
That is
Yeah.
very cool. So, were you always very good at school, and were you very did you do well in school and tests always? Was it always like that?
Well, I've always done rather well in school. We started, so in year 7, I did pretty well on my tests. I didn't revise that much because the tests were pretty easy, everything was just pretty simple. Then as I started going into year 8, my grades kind of dropped quite significantly. Or in science, they sort of stayed quite high because I just understood it. But in maths and English and stuff like that, my grades kind of dropped quite significantly, to 6s and stuff instead of 8s and 9s because
Yeah.
I wasn't revising. So then I realised what am I doing? I just need to get back in it. So then over the past year and 2, I just been getting back into the system of just revising every day. Yeah.
Okay. So, in year 8, were you less disciplined in year 8? Did your discipline start lacking during year 8 because you were doing bad?
Well, I think I was just a bit oh, year 8, year 7's over, half part's over, or whatever, mate. And I just be oh, I'm really cool now, I don't have to revise. And then, you just kind of stopped. I just stopped doing stuff. And, it just stopped.
So, when did you realise, this had to stop and you actually had to, discipline yourself and, actually try and stuff?
So it's probably about, 3 quarters, maybe halfway through year 8. And I just realised, my maths grades were just, I was, pretty bottom of the set. But, bottom of the set 1. So, I was doing really bad. And then when everyone was oh yeah, I'm doing really well on my tests, and I was crap, I'm doing really badly.
Yeah. Do you know, how you started to get into discipline?
So my mum, because she's so cool and all those things, she messaged my math teacher saying somebody's been getting really bad grades, and it was really embarrassing for me. And then that math teacher went and had a private chat with me about how I could do better, and it wasn't it wasn't her telling me I need to get better. It was the fact that when I went to talk to a math teacher, and I realised this is how low I've gotten. So I was damn, I need to turn my life around and stuff. Because
Oh, so
and it was really embarrassing talking to the teacher one-on-one, and now it's just, and I just really didn't want it to happen again. And also, I didn't really want to embarrass, I didn't want my parents to think I was bad because my grades have been dropping, and they must think oh my god, I've become a bit of a loser. So
okay.
Yeah.
So, how long was the process of actually getting yourself disciplined, or was it almost instant, in a snap after that?
Yeah. Well, because I didn't really work after school on most nights because we didn't have much homework to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
I was going to the process of doing half an hour each night, 45 minutes each night, an hour each night, depending on what I had. And I'd have rest days, so I'd congratulate myself for well done, made it through a week of hard work, whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
and it has been very useful because in year 9 and 10 there is so much more work, so
Yeah.
it's been really useful.
Yeah,
Just seeing myself into it.
it's definitely a big
Very good.
step up from the other years with the work. But
Yeah.
how would you revise every day? Do you have a routine?
So if I'm feeling a bit lazy, which I usually get most days, I usually go to look for my book. But that was what I used to do in year 8 and stuff, and it didn't really work. So probably most days of the week, I either if I have a test coming up, I'll create flashcards because it's such a better way. Because one, you actively learn all the stuff. I mean, if you just copy directly what's in the book onto flashcards, it's awful because you're not actually picking anything up.
Yeah.
If you're putting it into your own words, if you're putting it into your own words, you're learning it as you're writing it, and that for most of the information, it kind of just sticks in my head. So I find that one of the easiest ways to revise.
Okay, so that means revision flashcards are basically your main way of revision then, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so. Because they're just so useful. Because as I said before, you learn whilst you're doing them. And then, one, it looks really cool having a big, fat stack of flashcards. Like, I'm quite proud of it. Like, and that's all my information, and like, it looks like a lot, but it's really not. But then also, I learned past papers are really useful because they're really good for like testing yourself and what you don't do and do not know, and just testing yourself. So even just create flashcards, that's good, but you also need to like test yourself on them by you need to look at the front, go, okay, what is the topic about? What do I know about it? And just test yourself on them. It's useless if you don't do anything with it. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you mean like, do you like apply? So you apply the knowledge and try to understand it, is what you're saying? Like.
Yeah, because like, so let's say you have science, I'm like, and you're doing biology or whatever, like a genetic entity. So you can know it and then you can understand it. So there's a couple of topics. I'm like, I have no idea. So I know the stuff, but I don't understand it. But so if you go from just knowing it, which is all right, it might get you through an exam or something, but it's not really that useful, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But actually understanding it, then I guarantee you'll do so much better, and it's like, and it makes it interesting as well. Like, science on its own isn't very cool, but like when you understand it, it's like, that's pretty cool. Like, actually, everything that happens and works together is like, not cool.
I was gonna say, because I didn't really think that revision flashcards were that useful because it's more memory based, but you kind of like try to like understand the flashcards, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Because like the revision flashcards are useful, but if there's so many of them, there's quite a lot to work through. So if you condense everything down and get it down as much as you can, then everything's done. It looks nicer. It looks like, oh, I've only got 10 flashcards instead of 30 or something, and it's a lot easier. And it's a lot easier to use, a lot easier to store, a lot easier to carry around and stuff.
Definitely. Do you not like ever get so overwhelmed you just like don't revise from like how overwhelmed you are by like the amount of revision you have to do for some tests?
I always try to crack at it. I always try to. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point of even going to in the first place if you're just gonna like not revise? And again, if you don't understand it, go talk to your teacher or something. Go try and make sure you understand it, because then it becomes so much easier. Because if you're looking at it and think, oh my god, this is so much work, how am I ever going to do this? You probably can find it's quite easy. Most of the stuff would be like repeating it or something, I don't know, and it's quite easy just to learn it and then you understand it. But
okay, so can you like explain your mindset to get you more disciplined a bit more?
Okay, so can you give me a second to think? Okay.
Okie dokie.
You can cut this out if you want. Mindset. Okay, so mindset. So you have to have a growth mindset, yeah. So you have to have a mindset that says, "I want to do this." Because if you have a mindset like, "Well, I just want I want to do the homework and just get done," that's not good. Because you need to be like expanding your mind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So you need to. So once you get past that phase, of, like, I'm just going to do the bare minimum, to the point of like, I'm going to do bare minimum plus some, and then I'm going to do lots. I'm going to do loads more, and then you just keep going, and you'll find it's quite easy, because if you don't do anything at all, and then you get 2 tests you have to revise for, it'll be a lot harder than if you do homework every night.
Yeah.
And then you get 2 tests, you'll be like, oh well, just 4 tests. That's not bad because I already do so much. It's just like a bit more I can add on, and I've already done so much. I don't have much more to do. So
Yeah. So,
Yes.
so that means do you like progressively do more revision when you're doing it? So you say I'm gonna do like 5 minutes, and then another day you do 10 minutes, or do you just go like I'm gonna do 5 minutes and then you end up doing like half an hour of revision?
Also, on some days, if I don't have anything to do, I will say I'm just doing 5 minutes, and then tomorrow I'll do, I don't know, like half an hour or something, because it all like adds up, I guess.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it'll be like, I'm just gonna get it all done. And yeah, so I think it's all about like trying not to overwork yourself, trying to make sure you don't do too much. Also, doing enough so you're not like, oh my god, I have so much to do this weekend and not actually enjoying it. You try to like chip away at it over time and lay it out too much in the end.
Okay. Do you think learning like how much you concentrate in class is really important towards like your goals in school?
Oh yeah, good, yeah. So yeah, like if you don't concentrate in class, but you still want to do well, you'll get home and have so much to do. So you put all the notes on the board. If you don't concentrate, then you're not like taking it in, and then you kind of have to understand it all and learn it all again when you get home. If you learn it in school, then you kind of already learned it and you just go back over it, so it sticks in your memory. Then if you don't care, then I guess like you can change that, because then you're gonna fail in life.
So do you ever consolidate your notes at home, or do you just not do anything with it and just keep it like that?
So my notes, I think, are really important. So if I have a test, let's say it's a small one, and it's kind of worth making flashcards for, but they can't really be bothered to, then having the notes that are good notes, they're like let's say I write everything down.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot worse than if I have not much. But you get what I mean, like.
Pardon?
So it's better. Give me a second. Let me think.
Okay.
What do you ask me again?
Do you ever consolidate your notes at home, or not?
Oh, let me re-answer. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So yeah, looking at the notes is very important, because obviously then you understand it, and yeah, and so let's say I have a small test that I don't really want to make flashcards for. I'll look at my notes instead of making flashcards for it, because they're quite a lot of work. Let's say I'm having a bad day or something, I don't want to overwork myself, so I look at my notes, and if they're good notes, then I can just look at the important things, and let's say I've highlighted the important stuff, and look at that stuff, and then look at it again before bed or something, so it's just in my mind, and then look at it again the next morning, so it's still in there. But yeah, making good notes is a really important thing, because otherwise you have to like scavenge through the work for your teacher set, and it's like, what's the point of doing that? So.
Okay, so do you have any other revision methods that are not flashcards? Because you use that quite a lot, it seems.
Yeah, so unplugged papers, as I said before, very good, because they test what you know and what you need to work on, and they also test your skills in the exam, so time management, etc., stuff like that. I also think like Quizlet and Blocket, they're quite good ways, because then you can have fun whilst revising, so they're being really boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those sort of stuff. I like. And Blocket, you can make your own sets. So you can add funny answers or something. Just make it a bit more exciting to look at, and and then you just like You
think how much more useful would you say flashcards are than these other revision methods? Not a lot, or like a lot?
So I'd say flashcards are definitely. Yeah.
Huh?
Okay. So I'd say flashcards are definitely a lot better than just looking at your notes in your book, because you're actively like remembering it when you write it down. And I think they're also better than like Quizlet and Blockit because you're like writing it down, and like if you do a Blockit, for example, I'd say I'd be more focused on like getting the King Tower or something than actually like answering the questions correctly.
Okay.
So, and it's kind of like, yeah. So, and you'll probably just like remember what the answers are instead of actually remember what the answers are. So you probably just like store it instead of like actually understanding it and things. But I think past papers is probably one of the best, but they're quite time consuming.
Yeah.
Because you have to complete it all and mark it, etc.
Yeah.
I'd say they're probably one of the best ways to.
Okay. Since you use flashcards a lot, that means you probably have like a ton of like a massive pile of flashcards. Do you organize them, and how do you organize them?
Well, I try to keep like space in my room. I don't organize have them organized right now. I definitely will. I probably should have them all in my book right now, but I will organize them because then, if let's say you're in year 11 and you're going back over all your biology books, let's say, then you can just get out all your biology flashcards, have all of them, and just like use them instead of having to go back to your book and look at all your notes. So.
Okay, so
yeah.
How since you're using flashcards a lot, I've said this like a million times, but how would you structure a flashcard?
Okay, and so let's get my geography ones. So I'd have on the front, I'd have like either. So you have either a question, it's like that would come up in the exam maybe. So let's say it was how does XXX cause XXX? I'd put that on the front so that and put like the information on the back that I've been told in class, so that I can look at the front, realise what it is it's asking me, and then But if we back some data, let's say I probably just write like amount of people who live in Africa or something, and then on the back I'd write down all the information. I'd write if you try and structure it nicely, and I don't write small, I write in big letters, like I use 2 lines per sentence, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One, it's a lot more pleasing rather than tiny writing, so there's a lot more space, and so it's a lot nicer.
I mean,
and like different class puzzles are really useful because then you can like structure what's in them. So blue can be all it's 3.1a or something. Like, different subject.
Yeah, that is quite a good idea. I think flashcards, revising with flashcards is quite time consuming, don't you? I mean, how much time does it take you to like revise, let's say, 10 flashcards fully?
So let's say it's so if I know them, I'll just look at the front, like remember it, because it will be in my head what's on the back, because I either have made them quite recently, or I like know what's on the back because I've got it wrong and I'll redo it. But if I get them wrong, then I'll just like put them to one side and make a pile of the ones that get wrong, and then make a pile of the ones that get right, and then I'll re-go over the ones that get wrong until I know them off by heart. And that probably takes like 10 maybe 5 minutes, like to revise of them. But depends on what they are. If you have some ones just like 2 lines on them, probably not that long. But you could have ones that are just packed with text that might take like 2 minutes to revise them, won't they?
5 minutes? 5 minutes? 5 to what minutes?
So 5 minutes probably to revise from 10 average flashcards, I'd say. Like 30 seconds per flashcard. So they're not huge, are they? They're quite like little things.
I guess.
But if you have flashcards that like packed with text, if you want to cram everything into one flashcard, then it might take a bit longer, of course.
Yeah, so would that would take like, would that be like 1 minute per flashcard? It feels like a massive paragraph.
Yeah, probably. But if I want to like go over it because I forget it wrong, I might not remember everything on it. And I'm quite like a procrastinate person, so I want to get everything right. If you know what I mean, like a perfectionist. So it might take me like 5 minutes to one big flashcard because I didn't get it right. But that's not going to be the case for every single one. That only be the case for a few of them.
Okay. Do you do like space repetition where you do it like for one day and then you do it like after 2 days and then you do it after 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, etc. Or do you just do it all in one go?
I'd say it's a good way. So that's definitely a good way to do it. I tend to do it more like I'll do it one day and I'll do it maybe like 3 days later. I'll do it before the test, or like the day before the test, morning before the test, afternoon before the test. But yeah, I think it's a good idea to do it every so often instead of just doing it one day, cramming everything into one day, and then looking at it later because you're not going to remember everything because you're cramming so much into one space of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are flashcards like time consuming to make, would you say?
Okay, so let's say if you don't know, if it's a subject there's so much to do, like geography, for example, there's so much to write about. I won't spend too long on flashcards. I might spend like if it's a big piece of one, I might spend like 2 minutes on it, but it's quite small. Like, you're not writing too much on it, so yeah.
Okay.
But let's say it's like science. There's a diagram that I want to get down in nice colours, make it look fancy. Then I might spend like a bit longer on it, like maybe 5 minutes on that one flashcard. But again, flashcards are meant to be like love and impression they're meant to be. They're meant to like you write down. We need to write down. Spend time making it look nice. So,
okay.
Yeah.
How much information would you write on a flashcard then?
Okay, so on one flashcard, because I do like big writings, just look nice to look at, maybe like 15 words flashcard, maybe 20 words. So not too much.
15.
But then that tests you, it tests you being able to like cram everything down into a small amount of words, and it shows that you're able to understand the information, slow it down because you know, then still what you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you just copy everything down there, it shows like you don't understand it because you can't put it into your own words. If you do understand it, you will be able to put it into your own words, do something with the information.
Okay. How often do you make flashcards as well?
Okay. So I do them maybe for every important test. Like for instance, I have a chemistry test coming up. Probably I'm not going to use flashcards for it. So it's just formulas, and it would be useful, but I don't think my time would be better spent on like bigger stuff. Just because probably look back at this topic in year 11 and just be like, yep, I remember that. It's quite easy. So I definitely don't make flashcards like every day. Because no, I don't. There's not enough stuff to do.
Oh, okay.
Maybe almost tests. Most important tests.
So how long would it take to do this then, if you're doing it every term? Because that would be quite a lot of work, right?
How long would it take to do what?
Make flashcards of like four to six. How long does it take? How long does it take you to like make flashcards for 4 to 6 weeks worth of content?
Oh, okay. So I'd say let's say it's for one topic, yeah. Say it's for like physics, yeah. So 4 to 6 weeks work is quite a lot. But maybe if it's geography for like 100 pages, maybe I don't know. The physics might be like 6 pages. So maybe an hour maybe to make all the flashcards I need. But that is if I want to make them look pretty, or if there's loads to do. Most things there's not much to write, so you just have to put them in for one stuff. You don't have to write but every little fact that you've been told or something. Because most of it's not actually that important.
Okay, so how much detail would you write then, if you're trying to keep up like too little details?
So if I need some detail, like if it's a case study in geography, for example, I will write down all those little details because I need to know them for exam. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's like if we're in computer science and they tell us like, I don't know, binary circuit was made in 1984, I didn't really know that, so I won't write that down.
Okay.
But I tried to get in most detail, but I was like spread it out as many flashcards because otherwise they just look very crammed and not very nice to revise from. So it's a lot nicer if you just have
true.
nice open flashcards. Not much.
When you make your flashcards pretty, what do? Do you like highlight them? Because I don't know anything else that you could do apart from highlighting.
So I like to use different colours. So for English, I did one on different authors of different poems, and I used red for walking away, green for follower, black for mothering distance, and blue for reading rock. So make everything nice, or like on a diagram, and like do different lines, different colours. But highlighting, like I don't get it. I don't have fancy colours, so
you don't highlight.
I get it can be useful, but no, not really.
Oh.
I like if there's something important, I write it in like in something, but I don't really have highlighters to highlight this.
So most of it's just like writing, and there's like nothing else to it then. Most of the time. Okay.
Flashcard.
Only
the flashcard, yeah.
I mean, I was never really like interested in flashcards because like I always like saw them as just memory based stuff, and I didn't really think that was useful because there's only so much remembering you can do, and then it's just like useless because you don't actually know how to use the info.
Yeah.
So
when my parents first said, "Sonny, you need to start writing flashcards," I was like, "Well, I don't want to do that. Like, it's such a waste of time." And it was like first time I got pretty bad at writing them. They didn't look very pretty or whatever. Or they didn't look professional, and it was all they looked too professional. They just do pilots and stuff. But now I've disciplined myself, put myself in the right attitude. Like, I need to write them. It's useful instead of just like looking at a book or something. That's what I used to do for look at a book, and it's not very useful. So I think although they might be quite boring to make and not very fun, they're very useful. You can put on useful on a YouTube video if it's something that you already don't understand. Put on a YouTube video, you go down stuff you know, and then.
So, most of the time when you make flashcards, you have like information in front of you, and then you like convert it into your own words onto the flashcard.
Yeah, I try to. Yeah, so I'm not gonna just write it all from memory because it might be wrong, and then I don't want to be revising for wrong stuff. So I have my book out. I'll have something out, and then I'll just read what it says, and then put it in my own words. If it's stuff that, like, if it's not a definition, then I'll probably write it in my own words. If it's like a key definition, then I won't, because I need to know those exact words. Just think it's cool. Yeah, I need to bring that.
Okay, I think that's it. I think your revision method is very heavy with flashcards, which is something I was never fond with. But I think I'll probably start using them a bit more. I did try using them today for a bit, but I thought this was a very interesting talk, and I actually liked what you had to say. It's very interesting. And anything you want to say?
Use flashcards, kids. They're really useful, and just don't do bad in your tests because then your mum will email the school, and it'll be really embarrassing for you. But do well, kids.
Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed the YLER podcast, and see you guys in the next one. Guys, I've actually started using flashcards now because of this podcast. Look at this. Ooh. Podcast really changed my life forever, guys. Definitely. So, stay tuned for the next one.